All right, folks, so we'll get started here in just a minute. Briefly, I will introduce myself. I'll be turning my camera off here once the presentation gets started, but my name is Sam, and I am the Health Plan Administrator and Executive Administrative Assistant here with the Holland College Student Union. And I'm really looking forward to touching base on what it is we actually do here at the Student Union. So just a side note, as mentioned in the invite, your cameras and mics are disabled. If you have any questions throughout, I'll ask you put them in the chat box and I will take a peek at those at the end and address any questions. You can also send any questions to studentunion@hollandcollege.com following this presentation. All right. So on that note, we do have a good amount of students here and we will get started. Again, I'll just ask, well, first of all, people can just put their hands down from the last time. If someone can just let me know that they can see my presentation. Great, looks like I'm getting some new hands, so that's wonderful. All right, so on that note, we'll get started. Just one moment here. So, who is our team? Just one moment, I'm having some technical difficulties here. I'm so sorry. My apologies, that pop-up on the right side of my screen, are you able to see that or is that just on my end? Every time I minimize it, it minimizes my entire presentation. So I do apologize. All right, so meeting our team. So I did introduce myself, as well as our full-time staff here. We have Candace, she's our executive director, Emma, our events and communications coordinator, our student executives, our Eddie is our current student union president, and Victoria, our vice president. So what is the student union? What is it that we do? We are our not-for-profit organization providing you, the students, with access to a comprehensive health plan, planning and hosting events, and of course, advocating on your behalf to ensure that your time spent at Holland College is successful. We also aid in registering a club, so we're there to assist you with that process. If you have an idea and you want to share it with us, please reach out to Victoria, our vice president, and she'd be happy to guide you along that process. The board of directors, you can join and you can make a difference. Are you interested in governance, policy, student activity, campus culture, and important decision making? If you answered yes to any of the above, then chances are you'd be a great candidate. These are some important dates to remember if this is of interest to you. The nominations for the board of directors from September 6th until September 15th. You'll then have the chance to campaign from September 15th to September 27th, and voting day will be held on September 27th. If you have additional questions on what this is and how you can be a part of it, please email our president, Eddie, at supresident@hollandcollege.com. So now we're going to move on to our student health insurance part of the presentation. So as a full-time student, you are registered on either 2 or 3 plans if applicable. You're also able to opt out of these plans if you're able to. We will touch base on that later on in the presentation. Your coverage will run from September 1st of 2023 until August 31st of 2024. What is extended health and what does it cover? So first of all, such things such as eye exams, your prescriptions, health practitioners, there's a long list of those that are covered. And new to us this year is our wellness benefit. It's $100 per student year that can be used towards any service if you max out an allowable amount. Adding this benefit is ensuring that the students are given the best coverage possible. What type of dental coverage do I have? Well, only the best. I can't say that enough. This coverage is amazing. You have 80 to 100% coverage, depending on the type of service you're receiving, and that's up to $1,000 per year. If you haven't visited a dentist here, it is quite expensive, and 1 to 2 visits could easily pay off your entire health plan fee. What does international medical plan cover? So it provides international students with the provincial equivalent coverage for services such as emergency medical attention, walk-in clinics, scheduled ambulatory appointments with health PEI practitioners. If you have a health PEI card that is valid for the entire academic year, you would be able to opt out of this. We will touch base on opt-out further on. Accessing your benefits. This is the most important part. So you're going to have to create an account on studentbenefits.ca. The process is easy. Once you get to this site, there'll be a left and right side of the page. You're going to go to that right side and click Student Register. As you do not have an account yet, you don't have your username or password, so you'll just click that Student Register button and it'll guide you to the form. So first of all, you're going to ensure you select Holland College Student Union. You'll notice there are some other schools listed there, as they do also participate in these policies. You're going to create your username. It's not your email address. However, I usually suggest using that first part of your email address just to keep it cohesive. Your student ID number must be 9 digits long. Most of our numbers are 6, so ensuring that you're zero filling at the front. You can use either your personal email or your Holland College. Again, I also suggest you use Holland College and ensure that you're checking that email regularly. Ensuring to enter your date of birth correctly, month, day, and year. Once you've created your account, you'll be brought to this menu bar, which is the hub of the website. Here you're going to see the download center, first of all, is the most important. That's where you're going to find the most important links to get your access. You'll have the benefit cards in there, the booklets outlining all the policies, benefits at a glance, which highlights the coverage for each specific service, and drug exception forms. Direct deposit, also very important, as this is how you will receive your reimbursements if you were to submit a claim. If this is not set up, a check would be mailed to you. However, this process does take up to 10 to 12 business days, where a direct deposit reimbursement could be in your account within 2 to 4 business days. To touch on new claims, so you'll need to ensure that you keep your receipt. Most places where you go for a service are going to direct bill. And when I say direct bill, I just mean, so for example, your eyewear coverage is $150. Say we find a pair of glasses that are $175. They are going to do on their end your coverage, so they'll take that $150 off, and then you pay the $25 and you're good. However, you find a service provider such as a private counselor or somebody who doesn't have a system to direct bill. You'll then pay upfront for the full service, and you will keep that receipt and submit it for reimbursement. The drug search button is super effective for searching for any drug to ensure that it'll be covered at your pharmacy when you go to pick it up. We have one of the largest formularies available. Therefore, I'm ensuring that most likely your drug would be covered. However, if it wasn't, you would go back to your download center, get yourself a drug exception form, and be able to get your licensed practitioner to fill this out, stating that you need this drug, and chances are we will approve that. Adding dependents, which we will touch on further into the presentation, but this is an option that you can do from this menu bar as well. Your benefit cards. So these are the 3 or 4 cards, if applicable, that you will need to have. Travel card. This one is for use when traveling. Should you experience a medical emergency, it would not cover costs for things such as lost baggage, canceled flights. It's solely for medical attention should you require it. Your practitioner card, health and dental. This is the main card that you will use for mostly all of your services, except for the pharmacy card is what you will use when picking up a prescription that would have been prescribed to you by a licensed practitioner. Other than that, that card has no other use. For international students, their medical international plan, this is what you're going to provide should you need to go to the hospital or should you go to a walk-in clinic. I will also just make a suggestion that you screenshot these on your phones. You always have them. You can print them, put them in your wallet, but ensuring you have these is going to get you the access to the coverage as quick as possible. So opt out. We touched on that just briefly, but that deadline is Friday, September 29th. I'll ask that you put that in your calendar now because that deadline will not be extended, as we do believe that deadlines are very important to adhere to, and we ask that you do this before Friday, September 29th. This form is going to open up for you on Monday, August 14th. So are you eligible to opt out? Well, if you are a domestic student and you have you're able to opt out of the extended health and dental, should you be covered by another insurance company. So that may be through your employer, your parent, or your spouse. Ensuring to review the policy to confirm that it's equivalent to what we offer. So that is your responsibility to ensure that you do have that equivalent coverage when you're signing off that waiver to opt out. Another thing that's very important to know is that you can carry two policies. So for example, like I said, the dental, dentists can be quite expensive. So you would have two policies towards that service. So you would start by using your primary policy, which would be your student insurance here through Campus Trust. And then you'd have your secondary either through your employer or your parent, which would kick in and cover hopefully the remaining and give you up to 100% coverage. So it's not a terrible thing to have two policies. International students opting out of the international medical plan. Do you have a valid health PEI card? If you answered yes, making sure that it's valid for the entire academic year is important. If no, you must apply by visiting the Health PEI website. And if you're still waiting for your card, please be patient. Health PEI is experiencing high volume of applications. As you can imagine, there are many international students joining both Holland College and UPEI. So please be patient. If your request has been processed and approved and you have this information received from Health PEI, you are able to go to Access PEI and obtain documentation stating full name, date of birth, dates of eligibility, and your health card number. If you don't receive this documentation or your card by the deadline of September 29th, then there will be an option for a prorated partial refund come January. It's very important that you know that it's only in your best interest that you remain on this plan, as if there was a medical emergency and if you don't have a health PEI card or this medical coverage, you are looking at thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for healthcare coverage. So how do you opt out? Again, you're going to come back to this menu page or this student benefits website, and on the left side of the screen this time. So you're not required to create a account when opting out, as you're just taking yourself away from the plan. So you aren't going to need access to the site. You're going to select Holland College, select either your domestic or international student. It'll bring you to this form. Again, as I said, it's important when asking for your student ID number that it is the full 9 digits, so 0 fill at the front. Your student ID number can be found in numerous places, but the main place would be right on your hall pass. So the menu bar here is that opt-out button. So you're going to select opt-out. You're going to select the start month of your program and complete the required form. So for opting out, You're going to be required to input the name of the insurance company and the policy number that covers you for the extended health and dental opt-out. And for international students wanting to opt out of the international medical plan, they must upload a photo of their valid PEI health card. Once that's done, your part is done. You must wait, if approved, 5 to 7 business days for the refund to be applied to your tuition. If your tuition is paid in full, you're going to be able to request a check from the finance department. Please note, tuition paid in full for the entire full year would be taken into consideration. Adding dependents, I'm not going to read these entire definitions, but these are just some to let you know what is considered a spouse, what is considered a dependent. It's important that if adding a dependent, they are under the age of 65 years. These are the fees for adding your dependent. The health plan is $430 and the dental plan is another $430 for a combined total of $860. This is for coverage for up to 2 dependents. So should you have a spouse and a child, or should you just have 2 children? If you are looking to add an additional dependent, it is going to be an additional $100 per plan per dependent. You will fill out the required form on the site as stated, and the funds will be sent to the SU accounting email, as this is separate from your Holland College tuition finance account. Once this fund is received in full, your dependents would then be added to your policies and you would be provided with updated cards to include them. Well, last but very not least, we're getting to the end of the presentation here, and I just wanted to highlight some of the great things that we have going on here at the Student Union. This is our second year with the awesome student wellness program. I can't say enough about this. It's a confidential 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, anytime, anywhere, you can gain access to a counselor, to receive help for so many different issues, anything you can think of, they're there to help. How I can describe it is, for example, a counseling session, you would call in, you could have an issue that you're calling about, let's say study stress, and you want to talk about that. So you're going to get 6 sessions, 6 individual sessions with a counselor to talk about your study stress, and they're going to help you work through that and give you some tools to use. But then let's say, you're 2 sessions into that and something happens and there's a family medical emergency and you're extra stressed and you want to call and you want to talk about that. Well, you call and you have an additional 6 sessions for that issue. Yes, even if you opt out, every student has access to this. I cannot say it loud enough. You can call 1-833-549-3281 and receive access to this phenomenal service. Just some graphics here to highlight the services, and here's just a couple things that they will be able to help you with. So like I said, it's anything and everything. You're looking to talk about anxiety, focus, fitness, parenting, you name it, they're going to help you. So where are we at? We're in the main building in the Charlottetown campus, right across from the Florence Simmons Hall, room 103W. Come stop by. We'd love to see you. We're here daily from 8 until 4. And how can you connect with us? Well, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, email, and phone number. We really would love for you to follow us on all of our socials so you can keep up on what we're doing and what's coming up. Speaking of what's coming up, lots of fun events this year. First and foremost is going to be a HCSU picnic on September 3rd. We're going to be highlighting just what Charlottetown has to offer for students and where you can access some of the things that you're going to need. Orientation Day, super excited about that, which is going to be lots of fun. Stay tuned on our socials. Actually just dropped a reel this morning about all the excitement that we have coming up. So go check it out, share it with fellow students. Can't wait to see you. And we so look forward to connecting in person And if there's any questions, I'm going to take a look here at the chat box. And like I said, please feel free to email me anytime. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and take a look at the chat. Okay, so one of the questions is, when are you able to get your benefit cards? Your coverage begins on September 1st, so you'll be able to access these on September 1st. In regards to your hall pass, I will suggest that you email the hall pass office, hallpass@hollandcollege.com. I do get a lot of questions. There is one here. Can this process be done before the fees are due? So the actual process is separate from the college's finance, as I did note. So in stating that you must pay your fees on the deadline that they are due. Any refunds will be applied to your tuition, so for your second semester, or if you pay in full, you would then receive a check. So no, typically sometimes our deadlines don't always line up with the college fee deadlines, but ensure that the refund will be returned to you in some form. There was a question about, can you explain a little bit more about what it means to opt out? I do believe I touched a lot on that, but that's basically you're exiting the insurance, like you're getting your refund back for your health plan because you already have coverage. So you're basically saying you have that coverage and we're taking you off the plan and you're being issued a refund. So that's what your opt-out is. So your coverage will begin when you get to PEI. You can register starting September 1st, but the coverage will not be applicable until you are on the island. And yes, this session was recorded and would be available on the website at a later date. And the dental plan at a tuition fee, yes. So all of these fees are included on your tuition, except for, like I said, adding your dependents would be separate. If you came from New Brunswick, yes. So Canadian, any Canadian health, like you're not an international student if you're coming from New Brunswick, so you would not be on that plan. So yes, your New Brunswick health card is fine, and you're able to use that here. The email for Hall Pass registration, hallpass@hollandcollege.com, or if you just go on the website, there's a directory and you just type it in and it'll populate right away. So just go to the Holland College website, be the easiest way. And the last day, so for I believe opting out of the plan would be September 29th. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, Michael just put there in the chat the Hall Pass email. So feel free to email the Hall Pass and they'll get back to you with all your questions. And yeah. All right, well, thank you so much again. And again, email myself anytime, studentunion@hollandcollege.com with any of your questions. And opt-out starts on Monday and ends on September 29th. All right, have a great day, everybody.